Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. A lot of fantasy economics there. This is a guy that believes that by just mentioning the name Cohen, 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 jobs, jobs, jobs over and over again, that he's going to get a certain percentage of the votes. It is hard to compete against that big money, but I have to believe as people look more closely, they are able to cut through the superficial and vote for the person that actually has a real plan that really makes sense using real math.
For these three debates that you mentioned, are you advocating that you are the only candidates added to these debates? Or are you advocating that these debates be open for all candidates?
They should be open to all candidates. But having said that, I think that we have a particularly strong argument for me being included based not only on my vote total last time, but also the fact that we are an established party under Illinois state law. Now, there's some of our folks, we have some attorneys looking at the legal aspects of this, you know, for example, an institution like WTTW, you know, public TV station, what are the implications? There is still an equal time provision in the Federal Communications Act, although it's been largely eviscerated over the years. There's not a whole lot left of it. There's a lot of loopholes in it. But that is something we are looking at. However, our primary strategy is not legal saber rattling. Our primary strategy is public pressure. Just do the right thing. Never mind about, you know, the possible legal ramifications or tax ramifications of it.
Have you considered the possibility that the other two campaigns made a stipulation the only way they would show up is if you weren't there?
That is always possible, and of course that has happened that happened in 2006. That game was played. I've seen no indication that that is what is going on. Every indication that I've seen so far has been that these are the sponsoring organizations. They're setting the bar that way. Now, whether there's other dialogue that we don't know about, we can only speculate about that.
The idea of having a forensic audit has become a pretty popular talking point lately. Bill Holland has come out and said it'd take a very long time, be pretty costly. Can you explain where you get your numbers from? Because it does seem like a way to claim savings without actually having to point to where you get from.
Very good question. First of all, I don't know why Auditor Holland concluded that. He may be right. If that is correct, then the obvious answer to that is do the forensic audit in stages. We have 58 executive agencies. We have the state university system. There's a lot of things to look at. We can take a discrete proportion of that in any one fiscal year and say, okay, we're going to start here where we think we're most likely to find the most waste. Let's do that in fiscal year 2012 and see what we can find. My ace in the hole on this is it's not simply finding revenue from the operating budget itself. Obviously, we hope to do that. I'm very confident we'll find significant savings there in administrative overhead, ghost jobs, and expenditures that have more to do with political favoritism than they do with really serving a legitimate public purpose. But the other thing I want to do that I don't think the other candidates are even talking about is take a look at that capital bill that was passed last year, which we know was loaded with pork, and had a $2.2 billion Santa Claus fund for Governor Quinn, where the only stipulation was, well, you have to spend it on something to do with the infrastructure, in so many words. That was outrageous. I'm trying to stop that as a lawyer. I'm going to be filing another a second lawsuit in state court to challenge that on constitutional grounds on behalf of Rob Sherman, who was the plaintiff in the earlier lawsuit. That's outrageous. The General Assembly can't give the governor $2.2 billion and say, go ahead and spend it the way you want. That's against the constitutional obligation for the General Assembly to determine spending, what gets spent money on. So I'm going to be challenging that, and my basic approach is if I can't knock it out as an attorney, but I'm elected governor, if the bonds have already been sold, I will seek special legislation in the General Assembly to take that $2.2 billion plus some of the other waste in that capital bill and reallocate that into the operating fund to help us meet our immediate needs in the operating fund, the operating budget.
Rob Sherman, is there something to be gained in aligning yourself with him?
He hired me as an attorney. And I'm a civil rights attorney. I believe in defending the Constitution, including the Establishment Clause of the First Amendment. That's what the first lawsuit about. But he also wanted to challenge the provisions in that bill that violated the Illinois Constitution, including the one that I just mentioned. So there again, it's the right thing to do. Any other questions? I realize I've kind of run through this fast. Probably talk faster than you can write. But you do have the complete statement. I will certainly be available for any follow-up. I do have an appointment over at the Journal Register shortly. So we'll probably go ahead and wrap it up here. But I think you all know how to reach me. If anyone needs my card, I'll be happy to provide you one. So if you have a quick follow-up quote, you can reach me directly. All right. Thank you so much for coming. Appreciate it.